Well, good evening. How are you all tonight? Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Steve Smith. I want to talk about something this evening that I think is probably one of the most important things that I've ever made a video on. I think a lot of people are going to miss it. I think a lot of people are going to miss the point or not pay attention, and that's too bad. But it's about the evolution of preparedness. It's for serious preppers. I'll say that right now. It is not for the drive-by preppers who just want to hear about the latest thing that's going to cause a catastrophe so they can light their hair on fire and get their dopamine rush. It's for serious preppers. Speaking of serious preppers, if for those of you who are with us over on the Patreon channel, I just put up the 30th part of my audible reading of the Reversion, the first book of the Stone Mount series. So we're up to part 30 on there. I've put up a couple of editions of the self-defense series over there, and I just put up one today on an interview of a friend of mine, Jim Smokey West. That if you're really interested in self-defense, in martial arts, in fighting, in whatever, you'll enjoy that. Those are available on the Stone Mount level, on the Patreon channel. The Patreon channel, the link is right down below. And that also is for serious preppers. There is so much more information on our Patreon channel than there is on the YouTube channel. I've pretty much taken to putting the serious stuff over there. I've just gotten so tired of the shenanigans on YouTube. I've just about had it. And so all the real serious stuff goes over there, except for this one tonight. I was going to make a different one this morning. And I got on. I was going to make one about the fact that we are at war with Russia now, and then I happened to see that Canadian prepper, who I don't really watch. I have nothing against him. A lot of people in the preparedness world seem to dislike him. I think it's as a matter of jealousy. I think it's because he's such a big channel. He does an excellent job. He does a great job of putting out the news and of explaining. He puts a lot of work into it. The guy's got over 1 million subscribers. And I just for grins, I went through, because I claim that I have the smartest commenters in YouTube land. And so when I go to other channels, I go down and I read the comments on the other channels. That's why I say that I've got the smartest ones. But so I went down and I checked the comments underneath Canadian Prepper's video today, and he has some very smart commenters as well. He does. The guy has built an amazing business from his main interest, which is preparedness, and as a result of that, he takes a lot of shots from people who have not been as successful as him, and I think it's out of jealousy, and that's too bad. I haven't watched a lot of his stuff, I'll say that, so I can't really judge it, but everything that I've watched of his, I thought had content in it that was worth watching. Join me in a Yingling, by the way. Oh, I also put up on the Patreon channel a couple of one about how I've lost 34 pounds in the last 2 months on a carnivore diet, and then I answered some questions from some of our patrons over there that they asked me. I'm not a carnivore Nazi. Occasionally I will have a donut or a Yingling. If you got a Yingling or something close to it and you want to go get it, put me on pause and go grab it, and let's drink it together while we talk, okay? But I think a lot of times that people who are like Canadian Prepper, who have been successful, very successful at what they're doing, they take shots from people. Nobody punches down, right? Everybody punches up to try to get some notoriety, some attention. And so out of jealousy, people take shots at him. Pretty much the same. I get it the same because of the fact that I wrote the Stone Mount series. Okay, that's what I do. And it made me so. As a result of that, I put my plan to make one about how we're at war, because he did a very good one, by the way. He talked about how we're at war with Russia. That's what drew me to his. And so I put that aside because it brought out a different topic that I wanted to talk about. I've been busy today, so I'm just now getting around to it. And that is the evolution that a prepper should go through during their preparedness evolution. Okay, I know I used the same word in the same sentence twice. I enjoy very often, I used to enjoy watching some videos of the basics. I've made a lot of videos about preparedness basics, everything from food storage to everything you can imagine. But most of my videos are not about the basics. And there's nothing wrong with the basics. If you, and I want to make this clear, if you are here as a beginning prepper, great. See, that does not keep you from being a serious prepper. If you really are serious about it and you're only in the beginning stages, congratulations, it's great to have you here. What I want to explain to you is that you need to grow through the process. And I want to kind of explain how much growth there is to do in the process and what your goal might be. Okay, the people that I consider non-serious preppers are those who stay on the same level all the time. Okay, always talking about the same thing, beating the same drum over and over and over again. That's not preparedness. Okay, that is satisfying an addiction to stress. Simple as that. Now, I think. And people, I'll tell you a couple of comments that I've had that I got a kick out of, and it kind of brought this to mind. I had a comment from somebody one time. It wasn't on my channel. I read it on another channel. Another channel was recommending my channel, and so I happened to. I said, "Well, that's very nice. Thank you very much." And I read down through the comments, and there was one lady that said, "Well, I don't take him seriously. He doesn't have calluses on his hands." You know what? I used to have so many calluses on my hands I could take a knife and rip it across and not draw blood. My life has evolved. Okay, I had somebody else make a comment to me, and they said, when I've looked at several of your videos, and what I see is affluence. I don't see somebody who's prepared. And he actually kind of challenged me. You come down to my place. You give me a call. I'll show you what I... And, of course, what it was is to, to show me that he could, live back in the woods with next to nothing and all that. Let me explain something to you. And this is for the serious people. This is going to tick a lot of people off. I couldn't care less about that. I mean, it is time to bring some reality to some people. I learned to bushcraft when I was 10. Okay? When I was 10. That's 58 years ago. I learned to live in the woods when I was 11. I learned the wood skills, the bushcrafting skills from my father, my grandfathers, when I was very young. I have lived in the woods. I have done all of the things, and I found them very interesting. I was consumed with them for many years. I found them very enjoyable, clear through my early 20s, when I would go down on my days off and spend the weekends living out in the woods with my horses while I trained my horses. Yeah. He doesn't just have a hat. That's right. I had calluses on my hands. my life evolved. As I had those skills, as I mastered those skills, I continued to grow, as you should. I continued to learn new and different and more encompassing aspects of true preparedness. And it had to do with physical preparedness, defense preparedness, defensive preparedness, all sorts of things. My life has essentially been centered about preparedness since I was a kid, and I still enjoy it. The thing is, I enjoy different aspects of it now than I used to. I don't go out and bushcraft now, although probably this fall I'll take the kids out and we'll do a little stuff in the woods and I'll teach them some things, okay? But preparedness evolves. And as a serious preparedness-minded person, you should too. I hate the term prepper, but it's easy to use. If you're a serious prepper, if you're serious about being prepared, you need to evolve. You need to learn the basics, okay? Food, water, shelter, defense, all of these things, okay? And then build on it. Don't stay there. Don't stay there. And don't stay there and complain about things every day. I am big on positivity. I am big on solving problems, not continuing to talk about the same ones. I am big on preparing for what may come, not being scared of what may come. Does that make sense? When I wrote my books, this is what I wrote my books about. Yes, I mentioned I am the author of the Stone Mount series. The reversion, the revival, the renewal, and appeal to heaven, the blessings of freedom, and hostages to fortune. By the way, we've run out a couple again, but we got all of the orders filled. You guys have been blowing up the website. We just shipped out, I don't know how many books and t-shirts and mugs the other day. It is fantastic. All the things, and I've had to put in a whole new order for everything, so we've got more coming in. But when I wrote these books, and I talk about this being a complete plan, not for scrounging around, not for just surviving out in the woods somewhere, but the complete plan, written in 6 novels so far, I'm working on the 7th, on how to prepare for, how to survive, and how to rebuild after a complete collapse of everything. And that includes rebuilding of community. The story is one of a prepared family who, as a result of their preparedness, were able to do very well after complete collapse, the CME that took out the world, and not just survive themselves, but then were able to help other people, okay? And from that, community. And then it follows more and more communities, and interlocking communities, and the problems that come in with developing new governmental systems, and all of that. Because that's what real preparedness is about. Real preparedness doesn't have an end point. It doesn't have an end point of you have a go bag or a bug out bag, and something happens and you grab your bag and you go out into the woods. And then what? Go out in the woods and try to live. Have you ever done that? I mean, for any length of time? Have you ever done it in the wintertime? I have. I know. I don't have any calluses. I don't have any frostbite. It was years ago. I learned that years ago. I have evolved since then. And you have to as well. Too often, the idea of preparedness stops very soon on the preparedness spectrum. And I'm always, people ask me, where do you get your ideas for your books? I say, because every situation comes with it the question, then what? Okay, what next? That's what preparedness is. That's what life is. What next? What's the next thing you need to prepare for? Now, we know that we have a whole lot of things coming at us right now, and you should be prepared for all of them. How can you do that? Well, you can do that, but it takes time, it takes money, and it takes organization, it takes planning, it takes a lot of things. To be honest, it takes more than most people who consider themselves preppers are willing to put into it. And too many get consumed with one or two things that they are particularly enamored with, be it guns or communications or food or whatever. Preparedness has to be a well-rounded endeavor, because you never know, what threat is going to come your way. You have to be prepared for them all. Excuse me while I take another drink. Well, Steve, are you prepared to go for the rest of the world without Yuengling? No, I'm really not. I haven't stocked enough Yuengling to last me forever, and I'm not a brewer myself. Maybe somebody in my group is. I'll have to check on that. My point is this. Preparedness is a holistic, a whole life endeavor. Many people who are watching this on the YouTube channel have already turned off, because I wasn't talking about a new knife or a new go bag or a new this or a new that, or walking around. I'm going to stay away from that, but because it's not my intent to insult anyone, because I'm just not acting all tactical. Okay. What I am is practical. That after you reach a certain point, then you have to take your preparedness to the next level and say, I'm not only prepared if everything falls apart, but now I'm prepared to have a better life if everything continues to go away the way that it is going, if nothing falls apart. The guy that said what he saw, he didn't see preparedness, he saw affluence. Well, people have different ideas of what affluence is, but whatever affluence he saw was the result of my preparedness. And the same thing should go for you. And the same thing can go for you. And what I'm wanting to do is encourage you to constantly be making your life better, constantly improving your position, because that is the real definition of preparedness. If you want to see, and like I said, I think a lot of people watching this on YouTube have probably already turned off. It's just not serving their need for an immediate catastrophe that they can listen to, of course not doing anything about. If you really want to see some prepared people, they are on our Patreon channel. This is why I encourage people, come over to our Patreon channel, not so I get $1, so you get the information. We have such a community of people who have built their preparedness lives to the point far beyond what most people on YouTube could even imagine. That's why they're not on YouTube. They are on Patreon. And they not only comment in the comment sections, they contribute so much information in our members' post areas to help other people learn. You see, that's really what preparedness is. And that's what a preparedness community is. Not so that I or any creator can come on here and spout some things and then have a bunch of people in the comments go, yeah, that was great, that was great, that was great. No, of people coming together and adding value and information to help other people. By the way, I should put this in here. It started in our Patreon community. Somebody suggested, and I put it out to see what everybody thought, and a lot of people had positive input about it. I think I will plan a get-together for all the integrated preparedness and stone mounters, probably next June. We'll shoot for June in the Kansas City area. I'll talk more about that later. I think it should be a great time. We have so many people. I was amazed at how many people said they would drive from across the country to get together with other stonemonters. If you don't know what stonemonters are, it's the people who have read the Stonemont books. And that sounds like a great idea. I'm looking forward to it. So I tossed it out to Kelly, and we're going to kind of put some planning together on that. We'll let you know more about that through the winter. But anyway, the important thing here is that serious preparedness is an ongoing lifestyle. It's not a quick, immediate, or superficial reaction to the threat of the day, but an organized, responsible, systematic approach to being prepared for whatever threat may come down the road. Okay. And when you're first starting out, it seems daunting, it seems difficult, but it's like eating an elephant, one bite at a time, a little bit here, a little bit there. Do what you can, as much as you can, without, I won't say without sacrificing. I mean, stop eating fast food and stop wasting money, and apply that money, if you do waste money, and start applying that to your preparedness. But I certainly don't mean going in debt. Do what you can. And as you progress, as you keep watching videos, hopefully you'll keep watching mine. I have almost 1,000 videos. Go back and watch a bunch of them. And join us on Patreon. You're going to get so much over there. Did I say the link is down below, as is the link on how to get. I should have said this earlier. The link on how to get my books, the T-shirts, the mugs, all of that. The Stonemont store is down below. You can get the books through Amazon, but the better way to get them is through our website, stonemont.us, and that's where you can get everything. So the links for everything down there. If and when you come over to the Patreon channel, for those of you who are serious, you will be amazed at how much more information you'll get. And if you're serious, it'll be the best dollar, or if you want to come to the Stonemont level, $5 you'll ever spend when it comes to preparedness. And if that's not for you, then then that's not for you. But that's where the difference between serious preparedness and just splashing around in the shallow end having fun comes. So realize that preparedness should be an evolution. It should be your personal evolution. That every day, every week, every goal that you've set should set you up for the next step. And as all of those steps build one upon the other, you'll reach a point to where one day you'll say, wow, I feel I'm pretty well set. But then you'll realize also that that's just the landing. Now you can prepare even more, and you can build a better life. You can build a life that maybe somebody, will come on and say, oh, I see you as affluent. And you'll say, that's because I worked my ass off for it, buddy, and I prepared for it. Tomorrow I'll get back and I'll talk about us being at war with Russia. We are. People like to talk about it, like to worry about it, but they don't really like to think about it. They don't like to deal with it, and they don't like to think about what they really need to be doing as a result of the fact that we're already at war with Russia. And it's important. Just like everything having to do with preparedness means it having to do with how you're going to live tomorrow, right? So I'll leave you with that. For all of you who are serious, congratulations. You're doing the best possible thing you can in your life, because I say preparedness is responsibility. It's the ultimate responsibility. It's what you do for yourself, your children, your grandchildren, your family, future generations. And there is no end to it. It's a continual evolution. And as that evolves, Every step is going to make you more secure and your family safer and more secure. So you all have a good night. Remember, like I always say, we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow, because you're going to live as well tomorrow as you prepare for today. So decide whether you are serious or not. And if you are, good for you. Keep it up. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.